Yo, vintage got the boom back.
Welcome to the Fantasy Savvy Weekly Show with your host, Steve D'Angelo, presented by the Face Off Sports Network, discussing high-stakes fantasy football, waiver, fab, free agent pickups, NFL picks, and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And welcome everybody back to the Fantasy Savvy Weekly Show with your host, Steve D'Angelo, presented by the Face Off Sports Network. We're back for Week 14 NFL picks. Yes, we are Week 14. This is the last week of the fantasy football regular season. We have the fantasy football playoffs on the horizon. Some leagues have started their playoffs already. I don't really agree with that. Even high stakes, FFPC, RT Sports have already started. But you got a lot of bye weeks. We got 6 teams on a bye. So, week 15 is the best week to start your fantasy football playoffs. If you guys want to check a sleepers video I did for this Buy-Mageddon, go check out the YouTube page. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, hitting that notification button. You can follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. So we are here for week 14. Usually do this show after the Thursday night game, but we're doing it tonight on Friday, actually early Saturday morning, as we head into, we got some conference championships games. We just saw Boise State win. Genty goes for another 200 yards. Army beats Tulane, takes care of business there in West Point. And we got some more college games tomorrow. But we are here for NFL picks. If you guys want to comment on anything regarding fantasy football or NFL picks, or even if you want to talk, some other sports as well, we'll talk about whatever you guys want tonight. But make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't not already. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, head over to YouTube page, Face Off Sports Network, FF Face Off, and follow us over there. Watch over there. We really appreciate it. St. Louis fan, Mr. Discount from Twitch says, good evening. What's up, buddy? Is Trey Lance worth a pickup in Dynasty? Yeah, why not? I mean, dynasty leagues go so deep. And if you got somebody on your roster that's, not doing anything, showing, basically no promise, like Kadarius Toney, something like that, why not drop him and take a chance on Trey Lance? I mean, I don't think Trey Lance is, really going to amount to much in the NFL, but, he's on the Cowboys. He could be in a possible good situation. We may get a look at him down the stretch here. So maybe he has a couple good games. You could trade him in the offseason. So, yeah, if you got some waste, why not pick him up and take a chance? Again, dynasty leagues go so deep. It's worth it. All right, guys, let's get going here with the first pick of the week. And, you say, Steve, why the hell are you taking this team? They're absolutely miserable. They're a complete disaster. And they're heading down to sunny Miami this weekend.
A-E-T-S,
But yes, we are taking the New York Jets +6 against Miami, the AFC East divisional rival game. Miami has won the last 3 matchups. You got to go back to 2022 when the Jets won 40-17. But last year, 30-0 and 34-13 against the Jets. Miami was favored by 7 and 9.5. In this game, they're favored by 6. And, Brees Hall is not going to play. Brandon Allen's going to play. I think CJ Mosley's out. The Jets are, you could question at this point, are they just, hanging it up? Are they just going to go for a higher draft pick? But Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, remember Aaron Rodgers was avoiding the training room, like x-rays and stuff, and, getting updates on his injuries because he wanted to stay out there. So this team still has a lot to prove. This is against a division rival in Miami. They're going to Miami, get away from that New Jersey, New York weather. It's getting cold over there, 20, 30 degrees. I'm in Florida right now, Central Florida. It's like 50 degrees at night. It's actually really nice. So they get to go to Florida. Miami will probably be in the 70s this Sunday. Get away from the freaking drones that are all over New Jersey right now. What the hell is going on over there with that? So get the hell out of there. Get some nice sunshine. They're going to be feeling good. They're going to want to play good in this game. So I think they can keep this game close. The Jets defense maybe could step up a little bit here. Rodgers with Wilson and Adams, could do a little something on offense and somewhat keep it close. I don't expect them to win this game, but I think they could stay within the number at +6. So it sounds crazy. The Jets could totally be a true, absolute dumpster fire. I mean, they are already, but it could just continue this Sunday. They could get absolutely blown out by Miami. But let's go with the Jets +6 for our first pick. By the way, I do want to go over our record for the year. Last year, again, if you guys haven't been following the show, we were 54.5%. 87 and 74 and 2, I think was our record. We picked all the way to the Super Bowl. This year, 54, 57 and 1, 48.6. So not great, but we're going to pick all the way to the Super Bowl. And we got to get over that 52.5 to start cashing percentage. But we've been hot, since week 8. We went 8-3. Week 9, we went 7-4. Week 10 went 3-3. Week 11, 3-1. What killed, and then last week we were 6-3. And we had the Browns on Monday night. They should have covered that game. I mean, Jameis, through all those pick sixes, which kind of ruined that. So that's got to be baked in. But week 12 killed us. We went 1-7. That kind of hurt us. We finally went over the 500 mark after week 11, 47, 46 and 1. And then week 12 killed us with 1-7. But we bounced back again, 6-3. So, we've had winning weeks. 5 of the last 6 weeks. So we're hot right now. We're finishing strong. Again, we're picking all the way to the Super Bowl, through the playoffs to the Super Bowl. So all we got to do is get over that 52.5% to cash. And I believe we'll get there just like last year when we were 54.5%. But Jets for the first pick, when we picked them last week too, which was a disaster. And I should just learn my lesson and never pick the Jets. But we'll go with them for the first pick, +6. All right, second pick. Another, you're going to say, Steve, you just picked the Jets. Now you're going to pick this freaking team. I mean, this team is pretty damn miserable themselves. I mean, last week, Kirk Cousins throwing 4 interceptions. People are questioning if Kirk Cousins still has the arm strength. Is Kirk Cousins completely washed? Could we see Michael Penix possibly in the second half this week or maybe next week if they lose again? But we're going to go with the Falcons headed to Minnesota. Revenge game for Kirk Cousins. Yes, it is a revenge game for Kirk Cousins. And how is he going to do going back to his old stomping grounds in Minnesota? So I think Kirk's going to pull something out of his ass. We're catching 6 points here. on Caesars, on DraftKings, on Bet365. I think Kirk with Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Bijan, Kyle Pitts. Hopefully he could do something. He's been an absolute. His career has been very, very underwhelming. All that shit that Arthur Smith was getting, last year for playing, for getting Jonnu Smith more involved over freaking there he is. There's Arthur Smith for getting him more involved over Kyle Pitts. I mean, now he's looking like he's a smart dude. Jonnu Smith is having a career season in Miami, and it's so funny because Miami, had these tight ends in the past. They never really used them. I mean, they had Gesicki. They didn't use them. Obviously, Gesicki couldn't really block. But, Jonnu's getting it done. And shout out to Pete from the face-off. He was kind of talking up Jonnu before the season, and me and him actually have a bet on Jonnu over under touchdowns for the year. He said 6. Then I said, let's do it. He said he didn't want to do it. So I said, all right, fine, 5. We settled at 5. So I think Jonnu's got 4 now. So if he gets one more, we push. But he's got a couple more games to get it. So he should get it. But we're going to go with Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons going on the road to Minnesota, taking on his former team, catching 6 points. And I just think they can stay close here. I mean, Atlanta, they're 6-6. They've dropped 3 straight. Kirk Cousins' job is on the line. And I trust Kirk Cousins here to step up. And he, it seems like whenever we want to, just throw Kirk Cousins away and get rid of him. Excuse me. A little sneeze there. He kind of like steps up and he shows his talents once again. He destroyed Tampa twice this year. I believe he threw 8 touchdowns in 2 games against them. But outside of that, it really hasn't been that great. Decent game against New Orleans and Dallas. And Minnesota's defense, obviously Flores, he loves to blitz. Sam Darnold, he was playing a little rough in the first half last week, but stepped up in the second half, made some big throws. They beat Arizona at home 23-22. But we know Sam Darnold could get in trouble and make some terrible throws himself. He's obviously very turnover prone. So this is going to be a close game, I think. I think Minnesota, they could easily win this game. They're 10-2. They're 5-1 at home. They're 7-4-1 against the spread this year. Atlanta's 5-7. But I think Kirk Cousins in a revenge spot, going back to his former team, his former stomping grounds in Minnesota, he gets it done. Atlanta covers the 6 points for pick 2. And in this game, we're also going to take the over of 46. So I think Minnesota will put up some points with Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, Aaron Jones, and I think Atlanta will put up some points with Mooney, Drake London, and Bijan. And we'll get a little bit of firepower in this game in the dome. Some nice weather. So I can see like a 27-24 type game, 24-23, something like that to push it over the 46 number. So Atlanta plus the 6, over 46 for picks 2 and pick 3. All right, pick 4 and pick 5 because we're gonna have an over under pick in this game as well. And again, you're gonna say, Steve, you just took the Jets. Now you took the Falcons, and now you're gonna take this freaking team. We're going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 4 going to Tennessee to take on Will Levis in Tennessee, catching 4. And then, Trevor Lawrence just hit the IR, so he's out. We're going to get Mac Jones. But I took Tennessee last week, catching points. And it didn't look like a great pick, but they covered that game 23-20. So they covered last week. I don't know if Tennessee should be giving up 4 points to anybody. They're 3-9. They're 2-10 against the spread this year. Jacksonville's 6-5-1. Tennessee's just 1-4 at home. Should they really be giving 4 points to anybody? So I know Mac Jones is, he's got a noodle arm. He can't move in the pocket. At this point, maybe Aiden O'Connell's better than him. But I mean, last week he's kind of played decent. After Lawrence left the game, got freaking rocked on that slide. But we saw Parker Washington look good. I think Parker Washington's a nice player. And actually, if you're in a pinch this week, and I did the sleepers video, I didn't even mention Parker Washington, but I kind of like Parker Washington this week too, with Brian Thomas, with Ingram, ETN and Bigsby. So they got some playmakers on offense, even, missing Kirk and missing Gabe Davis. Parker Washington is an underrated receiver. I really like him. Made some really nice catches last week, and him and Mac Jones really connected. So I think they could cover this game. Give me the 4 with Jacksonville. Will Levis, you never know. He could throw a pick six at any time. He's got Ridley, Westbrook-Akini, 7 touchdowns his last 8 games. The guy all he does is score touchdowns. Pollard, obviously. Maybe Chico Kwanko has a big game. But we like Jacksonville. And then, in turn, we like the over as well, 39.5. It's not really much to ask for. I think there's enough playmakers in this game. The quarterback play is somewhat abysmal between Levis, Mac Jones, but Levis is playing better. 7 touchdowns his last 4 games. He's been over 250 yards twice his last 4 as well. So playing a little bit better. Mac Jones kind of, had his best performance of the year, finishing strong. After Lawrence went out. And, we all remember when it was Mac Jones versus Darnold a few weeks ago. And, that was an absolute shit show between both those quarterbacks. Played absolutely horrible. But now that he's a little more accustomed, he's in the offense a little bit more, showing connection with Parker Washington. And he has the talent of Brian Thomas, and Evan Ingram's healthy. I think this is a good over, 39.5, and Jacksonville +4 for picks 4 and pick 5. All right, pick 6. We're going to go to sunny Florida. And we're going to take the Tampa Bay Raiders over 46. Now, I was thinking about taking the Raiders here +7. And I like the way O'Connell looked last week, 350 yards against the Chiefs, 2 touchdowns. Chiefs defense is not playing as strong as they were last year or even earlier this season. You let Aiden O'Connell throw for 350 yards against you. But, Bowers, Jacoby Myers, this dude, Sincere McCormick, is looking pretty solid at running back. He looked like, you could argue like he gave them like one of the best running back performances of the year last week. 12 for 64 on the ground. Zamir White wasn't doing that. Alexander Madison really wasn't doing much on the ground. Even Abdullah wasn't really doing much on the ground either. So we don't know if Madison's coming back. Zamir White's out. Abdullah will be around. But anyway, on the other side, the Raiders defense stinks. They've been absolutely horrible against tight ends. So I think Cade Otton should have a bounce back game here. Mike Evans practiced today. Bucky Irvin practiced today. Mike Evans is off the injury report, so Bucky Irvin should be a full go. I think at least, pay attention. He was a little bit banged up leaving the game last week. But sounds like he's okay. Sounds like he's going to play. He's looked awesome. And, Baker's a little bit banged up too. So that's why I'm kind of leaning, the Raiders. I think, taking the 7 would be the smart move. I don't know if I want to make it an official pick. I don't know. Aiden O'Connell. I feel like him and Baker could definitely go over that 46. So I like that better. If anything, I would tease the 2, maybe the Raiders and the over. I like that. Get the +13 with the Raiders and then lower that over under to 43. So let's go over 46 in this one. Vegas, Tampa Bay, in sunny Florida, and Raymond James Stadium for pick 6. All right, pick 7. We're in the 4 o'clocks now. And we are going to go to the West Coast. of the United States. And if you could find 3 anywhere on this game, it would be great. I didn't see it anywhere. I only see 3.5, but I'm still going to take it. And that's going to be the Niners minus 3.5 against the Bears. Now, I know the Niners just came off a dreadful game against the Bills on Sunday night, losing 35-10 in that snow game. They got blown out the week before against Green Bay, 38-10. They lost to Seattle the week before that, 2017. They've dropped 3 straight. Chicago, though, has dropped 6 straight. Almost pulled out that win on Thanksgiving against the Lions, losing 23-20. We saw the end of the game, not calling the timeout. Caleb doesn't get the playoff. They called some random play out of nowhere, and, they end up losing 23-20. They get out, they don't even get a chance to kick the field goal. And then they played tough against Minnesota, too, 30-27. And the week before that, tough against Green Bay, 2019. So they play in a lot of close games. But I just feel like this is a spot. Obviously no McCaffrey. Debo's a little bit banged up. He doesn't look healthy. No Bosa. It's not great. No Trent Williams. I understand. The Niners are depleted. I just feel like 5-7, the division is still within range. The Niners are not going to just lay down. This is a team that's been in the Super Bowl, a few times the past couple of years. So I feel like Shanahan coaching advantage over Thomas Brown and this crew, even though Thomas Brown's done a good job since taking over as the OC, now the head coach. But I just feel like the Niners at home, after dropping 3 straight, getting blown out twice, I feel like they're just going to bounce back here with Kittle, with Jawan Jennings, with Debo. I think their defense will make some plays on Caleb, maybe turn him over once or twice, sack him a few times. DJ Moore's a little bit banged up. We'll see if he gets out there. DeAndre Swift is also a little bit banged up, and Roschon already is out. So they're a little bit banged up. The Bears on offense. Obviously, the Niners have their injuries. I just feel like it's a good bounce back spot for the Niners here. So if we can catch 3 towards game time, we want that. Or if you just want to buy the hook, pay the a little extra juice, minus 120, minus 125. I don't mind, minus 130 even. I don't hate that. But this may move to minus 3 by game time. It is possible. But the Bears, they're pretty much done. The Niners still have a chance, so they got more to play for here. The Bears are still playing for pride. Caleb's still, obviously got a lot. He's a rookie season. He's got a lot to play for, obviously, still. Not like some old veteran just slinging the ball around. So let's go Niners, minus 3.5 in a bounce back spot at home at Levi's Stadium. In the 4:00 slot on Sunday. All right, one more pick, and then we'll get out of here. And before that, we got Chai one saying Herbert or Caleb this week. Going Herbert. Now, we'll see what happens with Lad McConkey. I believe he had a couple limited practices in a row, 2 or 3 in a row. So it sounds like he's trending toward playing. He's got that shoulder injury. Then he popped up last week with the knee injury. But, we just saw what Aiden O'Connell did against the Chiefs defense. And, the last time the Chargers played the Chiefs a few weeks ago, well, actually, it was September 29th. So that was early in the season. That was when, Herbert still had like that plantar fasciitis. I think he might have had that MCL injury at that point. He was just banged up. They had no Bosa on defense, and it was just kind of a rough game. They're definitely, and since Dobbins went out, their offense has not looked as good the past couple of weeks. But I still think I like Herbert better in this matchup, and I do like the Chargers. And that's going to lead into this pick, actually, for the last pick here for Week 14. And it's going to be, this is the Sunday night game. Chargers, Chiefs. Chargers catching 4 points. Now, I'm kind of going against my own little system here because if I match everything up, I kind of have the Chiefs winning this game by like 6 or 7. But I'm kind of just going with what I've seen from the Chiefs this year. And maybe this is a bounce back spot for the Chiefs, but they're just, I mean, they're getting so lucky against Carolina, against the Raiders last week with that freaking, it looked like it should have been a false start, but instead they called a legal motion or a legal shift, and the game ended, with that bad snap. Buffalo took care of business, but even Buffalo played close to them. So they played, Buffalo closer. You could argue is the best team in the league, but so many close games. Even the game against Denver, the blocked field goal. So just seemingly close game after close game every single week. And even though my numbers say, maybe the Chiefs should win this by 6 or 7, I think the Chargers with their defense and Harbaugh and the way Herbert's been playing, we need Ladd out there. If Ladd's not out there, I'm a little bit more concerned, but I'm still going to keep it for official reasons. Maybe Palmer, Quentin Johnson step up, Will Dissly. They got to get something out of Cavani Vidal this week, but I trust their defense, and I trust Harbaugh, and I trust Herbert to keep the score within the 4 points and get it done. So yeah, Chai one. I'd go Herbert there, and we're gonna take the Chargers +4 on Sunday Night Football. So there you have it, guys. Week 14 picks: Jets +6, Falcons +6. Revenge game for Kirk Cousins. Falcons, Minnesota over 46, that same game. Jags +4, Jags, Titans over 39.5. Tampa Bay, Vegas over 46. 49ers -3.5. Maybe wait till Sunday and see if you can catch 3 or buy it down to 3, but official reasons we'll keep it at 3.5. And then Chargers on Sunday night +4. A little bit of a tricky week. But let's get over 500 again. Let's stay hot like we've been the last 6 weeks, except for week 12. Obviously, we had that bad week, but other than that, we've been pretty hot down the stretch here. So keep following me, guys. I'll be back next Thursday night for more picks. Follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the show, and we'll be back tomorrow. I believe, hopefully, for a DFS show. And then one final start-sit show for all you guys before the Sunday night games around 9:30 in the morning with Anthony and Pete. And then, as far as me, I'll be back again next Thursday for more NFL picks. Check out my sleepers video also for a Week 14 by Mageddon on the Face Off Sports Network YouTube channel. But that is it, guys. We'll see you next time. Take care. Have a great weekend. God bless.